Welcome to Finance with Factor,
Oops, apparently we're already recording, so here we go.
a place you can come to laugh and learn from local experts who love to discuss everything related to the world of real estate.
Weird passion. It's one that I actually share a little bit, so it makes me a weirdo with you.
Each week, we'll cover a unique topic
Let's talk about condos.
to help you understand the mortgage industry, navigate the home buying process, and grow your business while maintaining a slice of sanity.
Okay, fine. I've been confused by a lot of things over the past few years.
Now that he's climbed safely atop his soapbox, here's your host, a senior loan officer with Movement Mortgage, Jason Factor.
It is so good to finally see you again, though. I know we spoke the other day, and I didn't get a chance to say it because we were working through internet connections just a moment ago. But it is so nice to finally see you again.
I know, it's been way too long, like over 4 years.
Yeah, I guess it has.
Which is
It doesn't
crazy.
feel that long because I see you online all the time, which is
I
creepy
know.
to say to someone who you haven't seen in 4 years. But I see you and Duncan and Tilly, and just that you guys seem awesome and happy, and I'm very happy for you and the family. Actually, unintentionally in terms of conversation stream, but very much because of exactly what we're here to talk about today, you ended up moving, which I was very sad about because Abigail Gaw is a friend of mine. She lived in Boston. She was a realtor here, and she chose a different life path, which is perfect for her and her family. And it provided her the balance that she needed. And honestly, that's exactly what we're here to talk about because you came into being a realtor as a health and wellness expert, and now you leave to be a health and wellness expert. So I'm very happy for you in your journey.
Well, thank you, and it's so nice to be able to be here and share a little bit more about what I'm doing and my story and all of that, and it's also so nice to see you as well, Jason.
Let's start with that. What is health and wellness to you? Like, what is your journey? How did you get here? What are some of your bona fides?
Yeah, love that. Okay, so what I first wanna talk about is this past weekend, we were up at a festival, like, local to us. And I had a girl come up to me and she asked me what I did. And I told her I was a health and wellness coach and consultant. And instantly she jumps to how can she lose weight? And I found it really interesting because we're so conditioned to think wellness is weight loss, and it's not. And so she was like asking about all these different trending diets. And I'm like, okay, like, yes, it's very interesting. Like full fat milk, she was drinking colostrum. She was going like very extreme with all these different avenues to try to lose weight. And it was a very interesting conversation. But she said to me, what would you recommend for somebody to lose weight? And I said, well, I mean, first of all, everybody's body's different. What everybody does is different. And what we put in our bodies reacts different to everybody as well. But first of all, you need to make sure you're sleeping well. And she was like, what? And I was like, it's as simple as that. If you're not sleeping well, you're not going to be able to show up very well the next day. You're not going to be able to work in your profession to the best of your capability. You're not going to be able to exercise. You're not going to eat properly because you're not rested. So ultimately, it comes down to resting your body first. But I just found it so interesting because so many people don't really understand what wellness is, what true holistic wellness is. And it was well over 10 years ago that I really dove into the world of wellness. I was actually on the cover of the newspaper when I was 3 years old for being able to swim the Olympic sized pool. And the title was Fit for Life. And Fit for Life has always been who I am through and through, like inside and out. I live and breathe and embody a fit for life mentality and lifestyle. And I say lifestyle, not just like overall fitness, but because you have to be fit in from the inside out. So the brand that I've built is called Internal Wellness, and that really stems from being fit from the inside out. Because if you're not balancing what you need to from the inside, that mental, physical, digital well-being, how consumed you are with what other people are doing, if you're so outside focused, how can you really feel good from the inside out? So it really all starts from within you. So kind of bringing it back in, over 10 years ago, I studied to become a personal trainer. I studied to become a sports nutritional therapist. And then in 2017, I graduated with a certification as a certified health and wellness coach. And my focus was how food affects your body. And then as I progressed in personal development and really deep mindset work, it has really turned into how everything you consume affects your body and your overall well-being, that inside out, same like the internal wellness again.
And I want to give the caveat that sometimes I come on this podcast and I come off like a pompous know it all. Clearly, I can share a quick story. Abby was on the cover of a newspaper at the age of 3 for swimming in an Olympic pool. I once tried out in 4th grade for our YMCA swim team, and they put me in like remedial swim class. So like everyone showed up and like they're like, my mom tells the story of like we get there and everyone's like body is shaved and they're in their Speedos, and we show up in like our board shorts from California,
Funny.
and they were like, "What strokes do you want to swim?" We're like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just here to swim." And yeah, it didn't go well. But so clearly, I'm not coming at health and wellness from the expertise that Abby is. But one thing you just mentioned there was that wellness is about much more than what you put into your body. It's about your overall consumption. One thing that we are all addicted to and consuming nonstop would be, at least in this profession, our jobs and social media. Those are like, we consume our work and we consume what other people are doing online. How do you find, let's start with work life. How do you find the balance that is a healthy balance so that you can still be present, sleep, and feel like you've managed your workday? Like, what is some of the stuff? Because you do corporate coaching as well. What is some of the stuff when you go into companies and do group sessions with individuals that you really find people gravitate to and that you end up talking about on that topic?
Yeah, there's a lot of focus right now on digital well-being, and it makes sense. We're so hyper connected all the time. So, the way I help people navigate through digital well-being is really through creating the boundaries with your device. I mean, I've got my phone right here. We're on the computer, like we're so connected. So, how can we really prioritize the task at hand so that we can have those separations? So, I like to use an incredible habit tool called a Pomodoro, and this allows you to focus on one task at a time without getting distracted. Because we fall in this digital distraction loop, which is so toxic. It is like focus, notification. Oh, let's scroll on social media. Okay, now we're focused again. And then we get another notification. Maybe it's an email, maybe it's a Facebook post.
Guilty.
And we're in this digital distraction loop always, and it eats away at us and our productivity. Next thing we know, we're at the end of the day and we're like, what have we actually done? Nothing. We've just lived in this digital distraction loop. So how do we break free from that? What we do is we do a Pomodoro, for example. And that might be you set a timer on your phone for 45 minutes. All you do is the one task at hand, nothing else. You create this deep work mentality of hyper focus. So then 45 minutes, the alarm goes off. You've either wasted the time scrolling and looking at your notifications, or you've actually finished that paperwork that you needed to do, or editing a podcast or creating content, or whatever it is that you have on your list. You've eaten the frog, you've done the task that you keep putting off, you've done that and you pomodoroed it, and then yes, okay, 45 minutes, I've accomplished something. Let's get up, let's go for a walk, and then let's do it again. And you will find you will accomplish so much more. That's one thing that I like to touch on quite a bit. The other thing as well is really setting boundaries of your priorities and what's the most important during the day and at home. So often we don't even really know what's important. So when we don't know what's important, how are we going to prioritize? And then we get so digitally connected, or we're pulled in too many different directions. So knowing what are those big rocks. So if we think of priorities as rocks, so you've got your home life priorities, then maybe you have your work priorities. You have to put those big rocks in first, and then the sand, everything else comes in afterwards and fills the gap. But when we're caught in that digital distraction loop, all of that sand fills the jar before the priorities fill the jar. So, what I like to do every week is I will sit down and I'll have a family meeting with my husband, and we talk about what we have going on. And this is a really great way to prioritize and to set like goals for the week ahead so that we know, okay, this is what we have going on. How can we help one another? And then how can we reflect at the end of each day? What have I accomplished? so that you can call yourself out if you get too connected. And I really notice with people I'm an entrepreneur, obviously. It is very hard to maintain your focus as an entrepreneur because you got as much
And you're
time as
pulled
you
in every
want.
direction. Sure.
You can get
And I
pulled in a
remember when I first started, and you probably know this as well, because it's a big word in the real estate sphere, time blocking.
yes,
And it feels stressful to say out loud of like time block X, Y, and Z, especially when you're an entrepreneur or business owner or someone like ourselves, like myself that works on commission, where you do have a need to be responsive. It's always been a struggle for me to feel like I can time block successfully. There are
right.
times when I do have to do it, and that can be family stuff, right? Like I'm going to time block from 3 to 5 because I know we have pickups and drop-offs and practice and whatever. But it's always been hard for me to do that specifically for work unless, like you said, it's a unit task where it's like, I am going to get this pre-approval done. But it's always
Exactly.
been hard for me to be like, I am going to set aside this time to make phone calls, because it's like there are also calls coming in.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. But the thing is, so if you have the calls coming in, maybe you have a time block where you just take calls, but you don't want to miss out on a call, right? So then maybe it's like, okay, you take the call, pause the Pomodoro, finish the call, make a little note of what you need to go back to, and then continue finishing the task at hand. So things actually get done.
So still being flexible within your own work balance, if you will.
Totally. And
What you
things are going to always Yeah, things are gonna always ebb and flow. They're gonna pull back and forth, but you can't have it pull you in so many directions that you don't actually get done what you need to, or it takes you way too long to get it done. And that's where the deep work component comes in.
I imagine think of it like everyone started a new job at some point in their life. I always say the first few weeks of starting a new job, it's like running on a treadmill. You
Oh, yeah.
you kind of like you're sprinting, but you're not actually going anywhere, and you feel like
Right.
you did a lot of work because you were busy all day, and you get home, you're like, "I didn't do anything." But that's kinda what happens because when you're starting a new job, you're just absorbing so much information all at once that you can't actually do or accomplish anything. Also, you probably don't have the clearance or knowledge to do it, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But the idea is like I imagine it sounds like it's kinda similar. Like when you're getting pulled in all directions, you can't run in any direction quickly.
No, not at all. And I found in real estate, I worked in the corporate world as well, and in real estate, and you're so connected all the time. And it's almost like you feel like you have to be connected. There's deals being done throughout the night.
Mhm.
And whoever first did that, they've paved a dangerous route for the rest of everyone because you think it's okay. When really, you have to take care of yourself so then you can show up for your clients. So having those boundaries of, you know what, from 5 to 7, generally showing hours, but 5 to 7's family time. This is dinner time with my family. You block out time for yourself. And if your clients aren't going to respect that, then there's something else going on there. Their clients need to respect that you are a human, that you have to take care of yourself and really honor those boundaries. And maybe it's not 2 hours, but maybe it's just an hour in the evening. And then also knowing 10 o'clock at night, my phone goes down. Anything that happens after 10 o'clock at night can wait until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And I recommend everyone set a screen time limit on their phone. I
I
have
just
mine at
started doing
9
that.
o'clock at night, and everything locks out. And to be totally honest, it wasn't until a couple days ago that I learned how to ignore it on my computer. Don't ever teach yourself how to ignore it because then there's something in your brain that will go, "Click, ignore."
I have been ignoring it a lot lately, but I
Yes.
did do it, and it's if nothing else, it's like a mental thing of like, "Ooh, it went over that limit of screen time
Yes.
today."
And right? And
Yeah,
then you're stepping over those boundaries.
and I was having this conversation actually with a financial advisor yesterday, and we were talking brand newborn, just came home, and we were talking about boundaries and how it's difficult because he's still building his business. And he's built other businesses in the past, but so he kind of knows what he's about to get into. But I was like, it feels easy to ignore those boundaries now while your kids are that little. But man,
Mhm.
they get old enough that they're in every activity and they notice that you're in and out of conversations or not paying attention. It does get a lot harder. And I know everyone warned me of this and I didn't pay attention, but
Mhm.
I'm certainly trying to get better at it. What are
Well,
some
yeah, they're
tips that
little
you have? So,
sponges.
setting screen time limits, time blocking
Mhm.
during the day. You
Yep.
spoke about boulders. I imagine those boulders have to be prioritized the money making activities during the workday.
I mean, it's whatever is the most important thing to you. Those will probably be one of the rocks, but your self-care will be one of them as well. Like, you've got to take care of your mental health and your physical well-being so that you can approach those money-making activities. So
Uh-huh.
your career will be one of those rocks. But then when you get home, what's the most important thing to you? Your family
Yeah, that's why we do
and
this.
being there
I
and
think.
being present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you make me feel a little bit better. Came to this call from I went to the gym this morning. I came home. We're doing this. I will get some work done. Kids have a doctor's appointment at 2 o'clock. So it's like things happen in your workday that you have to prioritize. And for me, I've learned to set some limits, and you can tell me if these are obnoxiously awful limits. But it's that I like in my intro emails to clients, I say I'm available from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I
Mhm.
always say, like, obviously, if there are exceptions and things, happy to be flexible with your schedule. Like a night nurse, you need to call at 12:30. Let's set it up, right? Like I understand you're sleeping all day. Let's chat during your break. But and then I try to time block those like drive times for that. And I've gotten better as my career has grown to be able to say, call you back in an hour. And most people are okay with that. Like I set the pretexts on my thing to be like, I'm gonna call you right back. I even started setting a pretext when I'm driving because I was
Yeah,
really,
that's
really
great.
criminally dangerous at that for a
Yep.
period. And I'm trying to get better. But like, what are some of the other boundaries that you think are important to maintaining that work life balance beyond the like time you said time blocking, sleep, get outside, work out, do something physical,
Yes.
um make sure that you're building your boulders to your priorities. What would be sort of a fifth step in that process?
Making sure you're prioritizing yourself at some point during the day and don't feel guilty about it and don't have it be just a tick the box kind of item where a lot of the time we feel like we putting ourselves first is we're guilty. That
Well,
we're
that's
like, "No,
selfish
we
if
should be
you had.
making money, we should be spending time with our family," where if you don't put yourself first, you can't show up for anybody else. You can't show up for your clients, and you might think, "Oh, no, like, that's ridiculous. I can definitely show up for my clients." Your clients come second, you always come first. You come first before your partner, you come first before your family, you come first before your kids, everything. If you're not taking care of you, then your business is just gonna go out the window. Your life's gonna go out the window because you're become too much of a yes person. So I would say that it would be kind of fifth. This will be like 5.5/6 is being okay with saying no and becoming a no person. I presented at an incredible event last week and we had a beautiful conversation with the audience on the being a no person and how it's okay to be saying no because every time you say no, you're saying yes to something else in your life. You're saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to another opportunity. I'm a recovering people pleaser and I used to always and there's a really great way like saying yes is not a bad thing. Like, right? Because you never know what opportunities that might go to, but when you're giving away too much of your energy to please others, you are saying no to things that you actually need. So, don't feel like you have to jump to saying yes to things. You can say no and think, just like pause for a second and allow yourself to think about what's the energy exchange. If I say yes to this, what am I then going to be pulling? Like, what am I saying no to for myself? How does that make me feel? If I say no to this, what am I saying yes to myself? And then how does that make me feel? And feel the energy exchange and then make your decision. Don't use it as a point of being indecisive, but being confident with the fact that you're setting those clear boundaries of, "No, I'm sorry, I can't do that right now," and that's okay.
Father Chris at the church that we go to always says that no means I love you. And he always like he gives a children's sermon every Sunday, and many times a year he will say, "When your parents say no, it's because they love you, and their job is to keep you safe and healthy and happy." And it's hard to hear, and sometimes it's hard to give, but no can mean I love you. And he
I
goes on
love
like a
that.
sermon about it. But how do you deal with the cognitive dissonance of becoming a no person and putting yourself first without feeling like you're being letting people down or being selfish? Because there's a cognitive dissonance there of I can't put myself first if I'm serving other people. Like I'm in a service industry. Of course I put everyone first.
Exactly. It's similar to how you set your boundaries with your email saying, "I'm available from this time to this time." You let people know, and it's a little uncomfortable. Maybe you don't let all your clients know that you're learning to say no to things, but you have to think like, are all clients people that you wanna work with? Probably not.
One that so it's funny you say that because when I first started in this business, I remember someone told me, never say you're unavailable. Always say you're
Mhm.
in a meeting. And I remember a turning point during COVID because I used to always do that. Like the only prefab text I had on my thing was, I'm in a meeting. And I would be at the kids' soccer game or I'd be at the gym or whatever. Thursday at 10:30, like I'm in a meeting. It's like Sunday at 7 p.m. I'm in a meeting. It's like, you're not in a meeting. And I remember during COVID, I flipped it to like, I'm at X, Y, and Z with my kids. Or like, I remember one time I was like, I'm at Disney World. I'll call you
Yeah,
back in 20 minutes. And they'd be like,
yeah.
oh, no, 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 it's okay. It's okay. And I'll be like, it's fine. Like, I will call you back in 20 minutes. Like, I am setting that boundary of like, I'm going to finish this and then I will step away for a few minutes and I will check in. And it humanized me, I think, with clients a little bit. And it also said, like, I think there's something to the fact of like, yes, you're important enough that I am stepping away from something that probably should be more important, but that I'm stepping away from X, Y, Z activity to give you 5 minutes of my time. And then I'm going to call you back later tonight and we can finish this conversation.
And I think that that's, like, such a great way to do it, being really honest and open of, like, what you're doing. Like, "Oh, I'm at my son's baseball game right now. Unfortunately, can't help you with that this second, but let me get back to you." That not only creates a boundary between you and the person you and the task at hand, but it also puts things into perspective and lets you have that time to be like, is this really important? They know what I'm doing. They know that I'm at a baseball game. This task can wait. And is this task really as important?
It also showed like when I do that, I can see that my kids notice it, right? Like they notice that I said, I'm playing with like I'm 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 doing X, Y, and like it might just be playing baseball in the backyard. And there are times when I do, hold on, kids, let me pick up the call. This won't take more than a few minutes. And there are other conversations that I know that are going to take longer or that are more pressing. Like if we have a deadline, something's coming up, I'm like, I've got to take this one. But there are other times where I'm like, yeah, I can call you back in an hour. And the kids absolutely notice it.
Yeah. Yeah, they
They're just
definitely do.
really still young enough that maybe she's not noticing that quite yet, but she will.
She does though, more than you realize. Like my little Tilly, she just turned 5 and then I've got another my little Penny is 4 months and like even with her, like I notice like if I put my phone down and I look at her, she gets so excited. And it's like, okay, well, she's they're picking up on you being overly connected. And I think with digital wellness as well, like being able to put your phone in a drawer and be okay with it. Like your family is really important, especially with the little kids. They're picking up like you don't want your phone to be like your third arm. I've heard friends reference their phone as like the third arm, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. I do sometimes find myself everywhere I go, I have to have my phone with me. And it's like, what's this attachment? Let's just put it down. You can get a device called a brick, which like bricks your phone so you can't even use it. I'm like, I rather just hang my phone up on the wall like it's an old school home phone and like be completely
I
it.
love that.
Yeah, I notice now, like, my husband's downstairs, Duncan's playing with the girls, and I know his phone is in the other room, or at least it was when I came up here, and
Let's bring
it's
back the
giving
corded phone,
undivided
Abby.
attention. I know, right? Bring back the cord phone. I think so too.
The the one thing that I think of as you say this too is in terms of like boundaries and again, treating myself like I would treat my kids in that like we just had a blowout argument with my 12-year-old the other day about how he couldn't FaceTime during his homework. Like that makes sense. As an adult, as a grown up, I'm like, of course you can't FaceTime. That worksheet took you 2 hours. It was 10 math problems. You could have finished it in 15 minutes and then had 45 minutes to talk to your friends. Instead, you spent 2 hours doing this worksheet.
Right.
And why? So that they can watch you do a worksheet? Like it doesn't clearly you weren't doing the worksheet, but
Yeah.
when you treat yourself like you would treat your children, I sit here and I look at my own examination of like a spreadsheet up on the other screen right now that I'm halfway through and it's like I need to just sit down and finish these phone
Yeah,
calls, right? Like I need
right.
to focus and keep my balance in scale of my priorities and then keep my like be genuine to myself in terms of my communication.
Right, definitely. And yeah, lead by example because your kids are watching whether you realize it or not. And I mean, who knows what the world of technology and digital well-being will be like in, gosh, even like 2 years, let
It wasn't
alone like
like this
another
phone
5 to
5 years ago.
10. Yeah, right? It's amazing that we can be so connected. I'm so grateful for technology and the ability to be able to FaceTime my family every single day, to be able to be on this Zoom call right now. Like there's so much to be grateful for, but I feel like we take advantage of it that we don't know where to draw the line. And
World's greatest addiction. You can talk
it
about
really is.
drugs, alcohol, anything. I mean, screen time, the world's greatest mental addiction that there is, and it's totally untreated, right? Like, and
Oh,
or
yeah. And
undiscussed.
who knows what the like overall effects will have long term for being so connected. So if we can teach, if there's something that we can do for ourselves and for our kids, it's lead by example of knowing that it's okay to disconnect, that it's okay to have the boundaries and to put the phone down and to tell our clients, and I love what you've done, Jason, having it in your email like signature, like I'm available between these times. Most people don't do that. Most people think that they have to be overly available because obviously every deal matters, every deal counts. However, so do you.
And they know that I break my own rules because I respond to them at 11 PM when they call, text, or email me, or 7 AM when they call. Like, I'm clearly up, and if I see it, I will get back to you, and I tell people that all the time, like, "Don't be afraid to text, call, email me whenever. I will get back to you if and when I see it," but, like, those are the mental boundaries of, like, everyone else in the house gets mad when my phone rings at 7 AM for a work call.
Right.
Like, well,
But
we're in
you
the middle of
know
trying
that
to
you
get the
can.
kids on the bus, and that's frantic enough.
Right. But you know you don't have to because they know that you're not available until 8 a.m. Or if you do answer, "I'll get back to you, I'm getting the kids on the bus." And then your kids see that as well. I'm like, "Oh, okay, you know what? He's still respecting the boundaries with their family."
I think it's all very good advice. In fact, I have been mentally thinking about how I can record my cell phone. Like I'm thinking to myself of like, do we literally set rooms where these are the only rooms you're allowed to be on the phone in? Like maybe the kitchen and family room are no phone zones because like our
Yeah.
house has a little divider. Like I'm gonna talk to Kat about it because I honestly think that would be a really easy, nice way to do it. Of like, no, the phone doesn't cross this threshold.
Definitely, and never let your phone be in your bedroom. Never sleep next to your phone. If you have your phone in your room for an alarm, fine, but don't have it next to your bed because what happens is we get up in the night, we go to the bathroom, we look at the phone, we look at the time, next thing we know we're looking at there's notifications there. Whether you click on them or not, you see the email, you see the Instagram, you see the Facebook, you see the LinkedIn.
Cleared my Instagram, email, and LinkedIn at 5 AM this morning.
Exactly, exactly. So sleeping next to your phone is like one of the best things you can do for yourself is make your bedroom a sanctuary so that it's a phone-free zone, technology-free zone. And maybe you have it in the next room. So like when we're at our house right now, we're traveling right now. When we're at our house, my phone lives in my office. And I can still hear the alarm go off. If somebody were to call me if for an emergency, I would be able to hear my phone ringing over and over again, but I never have it next to my bed because I know I'm guilty of it as well. I'm human and I teach and know all of this stuff that in the middle of the night, if I get up and I go to check my phone, next thing I know, like I'll see the notifications and you're in a little bit of a hole, which is terrible because it breaks your sleep pattern. And as we started this call saying, sleep is the most important thing. And when we're so digitally connected, we're not going to be able to sleep as well.
If all of this sounds simple, but you know you're gonna struggle with it, or you have a company and you want to bring someone in to speak with your employees and provide a service of health and wellness for your employees, Abigail Gaw is a wonderful resource. What are some ways people can get in touch with you, Abby?
They can email me So I can send you the email so you can drop it in the show notes as well, but Abigail at internalwellness.life. You can also reach out to me on Instagram. I'm Abs and Cookie on Instagram. And those are probably the best ways to reach out to me. And last note on digital well-being, this became a digital well-being call. Get some blue light glasses. These are glasses with blue light filters. You can get blue light glasses and blue light filters for your devices. Blue light emits a frequency that prevents us from being able to naturally go to sleep and to rest. So having, especially for those of you who are on a screen all the time, having blue light glasses, blue light filtered glasses helps you filter the blue light. So then your circadian rhythm doesn't get so thrown off, especially if you are working late at night.
Very good advice for especially for someone who does set those boundaries and says, I can do that at 8 p.m. after the kids go to bed. And then from like 8 to 1 a.m., you're in front of a computer screen again doing work. And then you try to go to bed. And there are so many nights that, as you say this, like even last night, I got to bed at like 12:30 and I was just kind of like fired up. You'd think I just watched, a game or something. I just wasn't ready to go to sleep because I just laid in bed, not ready to
Right.
sleep because I had been doing the exciting work of reviewing bank statements. Like I wasn't doing anything that should have gotten me so excited, but that happens
Yeah.
all the time.
Right. And so if you had some blue light blockers, that would help you a lot to be able to wind down. But then also for the nights that you do have to do that, you do it with intention. Don't give yourself grief of like, oh my gosh, Abigail told me I should have like cut it at 9, 10 o'clock at night and I should be asleep right now. That's okay. These
Yeah.
things happen. You're doing
Prioritize
it
yourself and what's
intentionally.
important. You made the choice to go to the yesterday, the choice was from it wasn't a choice. From 3 o'clock to like 7:30, we had 17 places to be with 3 kids and 2 cars. So from that time to that time, like I was working, but I was in the car. I wasn't able to do the computer work. So I made the choice, like after the kids go to bed, I will clean up, we'll watch a show together. Kat will, we'll get our family stuff done. And then after she goes to bed, I'm gonna go to work. So from 11 to 1 o'clock almost, I did my work. But to your point, like I made that a conscious choice early in the
Exactly.
day of like, this is
Yeah.
how I'm going to prioritize and stack my day.
Right. It's done
So
intentionally. And
I
so when
felt
it's done
guilty about it,
intentionally,
but I did feel guilty about it. But now, thankfully, to Abby's advice, I won't beat myself up anymore.
no, but
Instead, I'll just
don't
drink extra
also
coffee and get to work.
don't make it a habit. If you make it a habit, then you're just gonna do it over and over and again. Like, no, okay, it's okay for me to do this like once a week or when I really have to. And it's a season, right? We live like there's
It's
seasons for our life.
it's one of those things like, and this is also something that is important, I think, to note for work life balance because there are times when you tip a scale and you just have to kind of get through it, right? Like rates came down, this is the moment, right?
Yeah,
I've got to get
exactly.
this stuff done because this is my opportunity. This is like my opportunity to save people money, to get refis, to make money. So I have to prioritize that work. And if that means for a couple of weeks, I have to just get through something that feels imbalanced, like I have to make that choice, not just for my work, but for my family as well. Cause like that's the income we make. And
Exactly.
I think to your
And you
point,
let your
like,
family know that too.
and setting those boundaries even with them, like the boundaries don't have to just be with your clients. It can be with them of like, I know it stinks. Dad's gonna have to work Saturday and Sunday this week because I have to get this stuff done. Like it's our chance to capitalize on this.
Exactly. Yeah, normally Saturday mornings, my husband Duncan takes Tilly to ballet and I stay home with the baby and I work. And she knows that Saturday mornings I will be working while she's at ballet. Like you make it known and then they're like, oh, okay, like mom's working. Like they're not going off and doing other things and missing ballet for these reasons. So it's all always a season.
We're now meandering a bit, but I think one of the things that we're not meandering because like I think one of the things that I struggle with a lot, and I have this conversation with my kids a lot, is like my dad worked in New York City. We lived in New Jersey. He worked in advertising. He would wake up before we were up. He would leave before we were up, and he would come home most nights after we were in bed. He'd come home like 3 in the morning. Like, he worked in
Crazy.
advertising in New York City. There were weeks where he would work 48 hours straight. Like, without sleep, he would bring change of clothes to the office and he would just work 48 hours, like, because they were on deadline, right? Like, you got to get the ad
Yep.
out.
Right.
Kat's
I
parents.
worked in media and advertising. I don't even know if you know this. I worked in media and advertising for a long time, 5.5 years. I worked in media and
I didn't know
advertising.
that.
Yeah. And
Can you empathize?
I worked in big firms in Australia and in Boston, and there were times where we wouldn't leave the office until like 10:30, 11:30 at night, and then have to be in the office before like 7 a.m. the next day. And I mean, to me, that was the final straw. Like there's like
He
healthy
did he did it
balance
for, like,
here at all.
30 plus years, which nobody does, 'cause you burn out if you do that too
Oh,
often.
yeah.
But
Burnout's huge.
yeah, and, like, Kat's parents, they were farmers. Like, her dad was, again, like, out before the sun rises and in after the sun sets. And so it's like, I think, one of the things that we talk about with our kids is, like, they're like, "Dad's always on the phone, dad's always working." I'm like, "Yeah, but dad also is here to, like, pick you up from school at
Right.
2:30 and
Yeah.
coach your teams." Like, not every parent has that. Like, if a parent is going into the city every single day or going into the office, like, they can't be back to bring you to football at 5 o'clock because they're still working at 5 o'clock. And so, like, I think trying to figure out a way to communicate that in a way that is healthy but still prioritizes your kids is definitely a struggle that I think any self-employed person, but particularly realtors that are, when are you busiest? When are you doing showings? On the nights and weekends? How do you how do you do that and communicate that in a healthy way?
Right. Yeah. I think it's letting the kids know what you have going on and that not all families have it that way. But then it's not even, I feel like realtors or entrepreneurs, like the world of people working at from home is like most people work from home these days. Not many people go to the office anymore. And it's the same kind of thing. It's like, "Oh, you are there, you're available, but how available are you?" You have to set your home office as an office and have those boundaries of like, "Okay, yeah, I can pick you up from school," and talk to your partner as well. It's like, "Oh, I can pick them up from school, but I still have to go back to work because I have these things that I need to do." And your kids need to know that as well, that, like, kind of like you're setting the rooms, like certain rooms are technology-free zones, that this is your work zone. Yeah, it's quite a topic. I mean, we can go on and on and on.
We can, and people should, and they should follow you online and they should connect with you. I will make sure to tag you in this episode. I know,
Love it.
to our point of setting boundaries, you are technically on vacation right now, spending time with your family. So I will release you back to your very limited time up in Maine with the family. And I really, really want to say it was so nice to see you again. We need to make a better habit of doing this often because
I know,
you are one of the
definitely.
people that I genuinely miss around Boston.
Well, it's so nice to chat with you, Jason. Let's definitely stay in touch. And I'd love to help any of your listeners with their overall well being. Don't just focus on digital wellness, but it is such a hot topic. But yeah, feel free to reach out. Let's start the conversation and see how I might be able to help you or your teams.
Thanks. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good. Bye.
Ta-da!
Thank you for listening to this episode of Finance with Factor. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Then if you really like us, open another podcast app. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or really wherever else you enjoy podcasts. Search Finance with Factor and do it again. The more places you like, share, and follow helps our ratings. But that can be our little secret. Have a question about today's episode or an idea for an upcoming episode? Post a comment. For more content, follow Jason Factor on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Finance with Factor. All content discussed on Finance with Factor is self-published by Jason Factor, Senior Loan Officer, NMLS number 1401985. All rates, guidelines, and advice shared on this episode is subject to change. To contact Jason directly or for a full set of disclosures, visit his website at jasonfactor.com.
Jason Factor, NMLS number 1401985. Movement Mortgage supports equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 39179. NMLS, consumeraccess.org.